Good morning, dear children. I hope you are fit and fine, safe at your home by the grace of the God. Let us start with our lesson number 2, the
The East India
State
Company.
India Company. In this lesson, we are going to see about the company which was set by the Britishers, and they gave the name of this company as the East India Company. Now, when we see in this lesson, we see that there was a demand of raw material for industries, and to fulfill the demand, European wanted to come to India. Due to the conquest of Constantinople by Turkey, the Turkey has captured the land route from Europe to India was blocked. So the other alternate to find to come to India was by sea route, and the kings and the governments of the European countries helped explorers to discover sea route to India. That means to come to India, they want to come from the sea, because land route was conquered by the Turkeys. Got it? So how they established the East India Company, how they got the power to do the marketing in the India, that we are going to see. Now in the first we are going to see about the Portuguese. The Portuguese navigator Vasco da Gama discovered sea route to India in 1498 AD. That means he discovered the India by sea route, and he was Portuguese. Navigator means ones who find out the new place. And later on, Portuguese established trade center, where they established their trade center trading with India. They established the trading center in Goa, Daman, Diu and Celeste. These places they started their trade center. Now the Portuguese initially monopolized trade with India. Monopolized trade means they started trading with India till 16th century. They were having the hold. Portuguese were having the hold. Later on, they had to face competition. Others also came. That means first only Portuguese was there. Monopolized means one person, one country ruling over the trade in India. But later on, he had many other competitors from other European powers like the Dutch and the British. How the Portuguese came, the Dutch also came, the Britishers also came, and because of there was a competition of trade in India. Now, second point we are going to see about is the East India Company. The Britishers set up East India Company, the name of the company which the Britishers set in 1600 AD for trade. The first British factory in India was set up in Surat. Surat is placed in the Gujarat, and in 1612 AD. A British representative, the one who comes as a representative, his name was Sir Thomas Roe, and took permission from Jahangir. Jahangir was there in Surat, and he took permission from Jahangir, and he started trade in India. After permission, the Britishers set up their factories. Later on, after taking the permission from Jahangir, he set up the factory in Madras, and that is now called as what? Chennai, Bombay, which is now called as Mumbai, and Kolkata. Now people are saying Kolkata, name is changed. Previously they used to say what? Calcutta. These places were favorite of Britishers. Britishers liked this place. That is why they were called as Presidency Town. These places like the Chennai, Mumbai and Kolkata were called as what? Presidency Town. Two famous factories were Fort. The name of the factories which the Britishers set up in India were Fort Williams and St. George in Calcutta and Madras respectively. And what happened? They started their trade, business in this country, this place in India. Now Prince Charles II, the name of this Prince Charles II, he got Bombay as his dowry. After getting married to whom? The Portuguese princess, and the name of the Portuguese princess was Catherine of Braganza. That this is the name of the princess whom Prince Charles II got married. and as a dowry he got this place. Which place? Now we called it as what? Mumbai. Got it? The Britishers set up many factories in India. These factories were not for production of goods, they were for storage of raw material. The country, they were having the shortage of storage of raw materials, so they got lot of place here in India to store the raw materials. Later on, the British started fortification of these factories. They started these factories. They developed the factories here. They set up the factories here. And let us see, the next is the Dutch. First we saw the Portuguese, second we saw the Britishers, Dutch, and now the Dutch East India Company was set up in 1612. And the main trade center where two centers were there for the Dutch. That was Kochi and Nagapattinam on the Madras coast and Chinnasura in Bengal. Later on, the British captured their Indian possession. Later on, the Britishers, they captured this and they were started ruling and powering the factories, and they try to minimize this Dutch. The next comes the French. The French East India Company was established in 1664 AD. First were the what? Britishers, second the Dutch, the French. So the years are also different. So the French started establishing their company in 1664 AD. The French had their factories at Masulipatam, that is Andhra Pradesh, then Chandarnagore in Bengal, and Pondicherry in Tamil Nadu. Pondicherry was the main center. For the French, Pondicherry was the main center. And the reason why they liked the Pondicherry, because the East India Company was under the control of the French government. Slowly what happened? It started, the French government, they took the control of all this Pondicherry place, and they want the trading. They want their raw material to store there, and they are capturing these places. The aim of these companies, let us see what is the aim. Aim means what? What is the reason why they want this? The reason was what? For these companies, that is British East India Company, the Dutch East India Company, the French East India Company, they have some goal and they have some reason and aim for this company was only to get what? Profit. Business, they want to get profit, money, and India was the best place for them. This lead to the competition, and because of that this become the competition between the three countries, that is the British, the Dutch and the French. Got it? The aim of these companies was profit, and because of that competition, which often result in war, these three countries, they started getting war among themselves, that who will be powerful. We want to be here, they are telling they want to be like that. Also to get more trade facilities, and their interference in the internal affairs of the Indian state. They started interfering in internal affairs of India. Ultimately it was the British. Ultimately means at last the British were there, and the Britishers started conquering. British were there ultimately, and the French companies which was left in the race, driving out the other European countries. Other European was cut down. They were not having that place because of the war. The British, they fought with the French, they fought with the Dutch, but then the British got the power. That power was there in that war. There was series of war. Series of war means 1, 2, 3, like that series of war. And that series of war was between the British and the French in the South India. These wars were called as Carnatic War. The wars which took place between the British and the French, series wise, they are called as a Carnatic War. The outcome of this, the result of these wars led to the emergency of English as victory. So ultimately the English, the Britishers, they got the victory to do the power and trade in India. So let us see the first Carnatic War period. I am showing on the screen. The first Carnatic War was held in 1746 and till 48. And what was the result of this first Carnatic War was it was ended by the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle in Europe. It was drawn struggle. That means there was no rise. Then second Carnatic War was in 1749 and it ended till 54. There was no conclusion. Simply the war was there, no conclusion, but there was dominance. Dominance means the rule of the British over the French. The third Carnatic War was in 1756 till it lasted 63 and it ended by the Treaty of Paris. The British won victory. Again the Britishers, they won the victory over the French in India. These are all the dates, the reason, the consequence, when it happened, why it happened, who got the victory. And this war was called as Carnatic War. Remember children, the war which took place with the French or with Britishers, and it is called as Carnatic War. Now the conquest of Bengal. Now who conquered Bengal? Why they want Bengal as the main center? Now let us see. Now after the decline means the end. After the decline of the Mughals, there was a decline of the Mughals, and the name of the Mughal was here Nawab Alwari Khan. Nawab Alwari Khan was there, and this Nawab, he has become the independent Nawab of Bengal. So he was the independent Bengal, but Britishers, he wanted to control Bengal, and because of that, why the reason why they want the Bengal was rich. It was fertile province. Everything they got there, it was rich, and consequently they clashes with Nawab of Bengal, and Britishers fought with Nawab of Bengal and this Nawab of Bengal. And when the battle took place, the name of the battle was Battle of Plassey, that is in 1757. And in this battle, the Nawab Alwardi Khan, that is 1756, he died, and his son Sirajud-Dowla becomes the Nawab of Bengal. His son become the this one Nawab. Nawab means the king. He was not able to control the increasing power of the British. The power of the British was increasing, and then he cannot control it. Who had started to fortify Fort Williams in spite of the Nawab's instruction not to do so. Nawab got the instruction from the Britishers not to interfere and not to do anything wrong with British, but he did not listen. The British were not paying taxes. The Britishers, what they did, they stopped paying taxes for the trade in Bengal, Bihar. 3 places they stopped. Even though they were there, the factories were there, but they stopped giving the taxes of Bengal, of Bihar and Orissa. 3 places. Now, so Sirajud Dowla started as the company. So what he did, he asked the East India Company the reason to stood interference in the political affairs of his dominion. This is the steps he took. He asked the company to stop fortification. He told that you stop 3 things, he told, and to pay the revenue. He told to pay the revenue of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. But after negotiation failed, the Nawab captured the English factory along with its officials at Kisambarajar of Kolkata. He took the control, and the British governor that time, who was the British governor? The British governor was Robert Clive, planned to capture Bengal. He was there, this person, the British governor, Robert Clive, want to capture Bengal. He want to take the Bengal from Nawab, and he entered into conspiracy. He started conspiracy with the nobles and other with the Sirajud Daulat. He was having some people with him, so he started going with them and talking with them, and court like Mir Jafar. So who was general in his army? Mir Jafar was the general in Sirajud Daulat's court. Mir Jafar was there, and what he did, so Robert Clive, he went there he did the conspiracy with him, meeting with him, and with the help of Mir Jafar, what he did, General of the Army Mir Jafar and Amir Chand, the treasurer of the Nawab, Jagat Seth, these people he took the help, who was an important banker of Bengal and other rich merchants. See, conspiracy against the king. He took the help of these people and then he did the cheating with whom, with the Nawab. And in response of this incident of June 23, 1757, Robert Clive led the company's army against, he went against the Siraju Daulat at Palacia. So battle was there. He accused the Nawab of Bengal of conspiring with the French against the British. He is telling that you are with the French and you are fighting with the British. Like that he said. Due to the earlier conspiracy, Mir Jafar and the large part of the army did not take part in the war. And Mir Jafar and other large party, they said, we are not going to take part with you. You only Siraju Daulat, Dullah, you only fight with them. So this was there. And what happened? After an intense battle, the battle was fought between between two, that is between Siraju Daulah and the British. This fighting was there, and what happened in this intense battle? Who was lost? Siraju Daulah was lost. Lost means defeated, and was later killed. He was killed in the battle. Now, what was the effect? The result of this war? Now, Britishers got the power. So, Mir Jafar became the Nawab of Bengal. See, the one who was with the Britishers, that is who? Mir Jafar, who was the chief general in his army. He became the Nawab of the Bengal. But the real power, Britishers were very smart, but the real power was in the hands of the Britishers. Second point we are going to see is the East India Company converted into political power. They got the political power of Bengal. The Britisher captures rich resources of Bengal. Everything came in the hand of the British. Bengal also came in the British hand. Only for the namesake Mir Jafar become the Nawab. The power, all the power, the prestige of the British increased after the war. After the Battle of Plassey, the power of the Britishers increased. They took the in charge of everything. Got it? This is the effect of the war. Everything is now in the hand of the Britishers. The political power of the British increased. The Battle of Plassey becomes famous because it was the first major important victory the company won in India. East India Company of Britishers, they won this first main battle, and in this way the East India Company was permanently, it was set up in the India, and they took the power of Bengal also. Bengal was the rich provinces and they got many things from that. It was a main center for the Britisher to set up the company. So next battle we are going to see the Battle of Boxer, and the Battle of Boxer is 1764. After the Battle of Plassey, the company started to make unreasonable demand on Mir Jafar. They started asking more things from Mir Jafar, which he was unable to fulfill. Mir Jafar was not able to fulfill. Mir Jafar was the Bengal's king. He was the Nawab of that. That's why they removed him. Britishers, they removed him and appointed Mir Qasim. That is, who is Mir Qasim? That is son-in-law as the Nawab of Bengal. Son-in-law of, he made that Mir Qasim, son-in-law of Mir Jafar. Mir Qasim wanted to maintain his independence. He don't want to be under whom? He don't want to be under the Britishers. So what he took many number of steps which angered. Because of this his Mir Qasim, the Britishers got angry. He moved his capital. What he did, Mir Qasim moved his capital to Manyar, away from Calcutta. He was strengthening his army with the help of Europeans. Further, he abolished all duty taxes on inland trades. So, this is about Mir Qasim. Due to the above measures, the Battle of Boxer. Now, remember how the Battle of Palasia, now Battle of Boxer was fought between the British and and Mir Qasim. Got it? And the Nawab of Awadh, Suja-ud-Dawla, and the Emperor Shah Alam II were with Mir Qasim. The people, those who were there with Mir Qasim. The combined armies of the threes were defeated. So Mir Qasim was defeated. Then Nawab of Awadh, Suja-ud-Dawla, the Emperor Shah Alam II, they were there with Mir Qasim. They got defeated and by the British. And after the defeat, Mir Qasim ran away. The Nawab of Awadh, Suja-ud-Dawla, and the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam signed the treaty. They signed the Treaty of Allahabad in 1765 with the British. The treaty was signed between them, and the British had got right of land revenue collection, that is Diwani right of Bengal. Now the Britishers got the right to collect the tax from the Bengal, Bihar and Orissa in 1765 by the Treaty of Allahabad. This led to increase in financial power of the British. Once the Britishers started taking the land revenue, the tax from these places, then they become strong. Britishers. This led to increase what? Financial power. And now next we are going to see the subsidiary alliance system. Now we must know what is subsidiary alliance system. In order to conquer new territories, now these places they know, they want now new territories, new states also they want. So what they did, Britishers make a paramount power in India, and Lord Wesley prepared a new system known as the subsidiary alliance. The one who started subsidiary alliance in India was Lord Wesley. And according to this term of this alliance, Indian rulers, the first term, why he started subsidiary alliances, first point is to what? Not to allow to have the independence armed forces. Any Nawab, any king will not have the independence armed forces. All the armed forces will be with Britishers. Got it? They were to be protected by the company. East India Company will only have the arms, but they have to pay for the subsidiary forces. Tax will be there for the subsidiary forces that the company was supposed to maintain for the purpose of this protection. I am protecting your places, so you have to give what? Subsidiary to us, Britishers, that is, British East India Company. If the Indian ruler failed and the one who is not giving the subsidiary alliance to make the payment, then the part of the territory, the place or the land will be taken by the Britishers. And as a penalty, got it? You know penalty means what? Not paying something, instead of that we have penalty. If you are not doing this, bank is giving you the loan, and if you are not paying the EMIs or the part of the loan to the bank, then they do something for that. Either take the house properties, or they take some extra money for the property or for the money. So this penalty was there. Nawabs of Awadh and Hyderabad were forced to give over half of the territory. They were not able to pay the taxes on time. So Nawab of Awadh and Hyderabad, these two places started what? They gave the half of the territories, the kingdom, to the British, to the East India Company. Now next is what? Dual government or dichotomy. Let us see dual government, two government for one place. That is there. In Bengal, the British introduced the system of dual government. The word dual means two. This is, Bengal had two masters, the British and the Nawab of Bengal. Two system, how we have two SIM in the one mobile. Same way, which have different SIM are there, and then in one mobile. Same way here also, two masters are there of one place of Bengal. One is the Britishers and the second one is the Nawab. This system of dual government was introduced by Clive and in 1765. According to the system, the East India Company will collect what? They have the right to collect the land revenue or the tax from the people. And on the other hand side, this is to collect the tax. And what the Nawab going to look? The Nawab is going to look after the civil administration, all the things in the state, and the law and order, how to keep law and order. He had all the responsibility without any power. Though he is the Nawab, he is not having the power. All the power was there in the East India Company. The Britishers, they were having the power. Due to the system of dual government, two government, the company and the Nawab's officials become corrupt. Extra money the Nawab started taking, his officers started taking, and corruption started. And there was a severe famine in Bengal. Understood? So that's why the dual government system was put to an end. Clive, he started this dual government, but it was later on we see that people and the company did not like this policy of dual government, and they put an end in 1772. And who took the end of this dual government? By Warren Hastings. You have to remember, Warren Hastings put the end of the dual government. Next we are going to see is relation of the British with Mysore. How was the relation of British with Mysore? We saw about Bengal, Orissa, Bihar. Now we are going to see about Mysore. What? They want more and more province under the control, territory to rule. And Mysore had grown in strength. Why Mysore was growing in strength? Under the who? Because there was a powerful ruler like Hyder Ali. Hyder Ali was ruling the Mysore that time, and his son Tipu Sultan. So they both, father and the son, Hyder Ali father and his son Tipu Sultan, they were ruling the Mysore. In 1785, Tipu Sultan stopped the export of. He told that I will stop that. I will not allow sandalwood, pepper and cardamom through the port of his kingdom. Understood? He stopped this port. That means from where the things are going from one place to another with the help of the ship. So this disallowed local merchants from trading with the company. So East India Company, they told, we are not going to do trade with you. We will not send all these things, sandalwood, pepper and cardamom. So this, who did this? The Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan did that. And this, who did not like this? The Britishers did not like this. So he established a close relationship with the Tipu Sultan, established a close relationship with the French in India. French were there. So instead of having a good relations with the Britishers, he started with the French in India and modernized his army with their help. With the help of the French, he started modernizing the army. The British were furious. You must know what is furious. Furious means angry. The British got angry that he is not sending the things also. He don't want to do the business and export with the things, and he is taking the help of the French, and he is trying to make his army modernized. So they got angry, Britishers. They got angry. They saw Hyder, father, and Tipu as an ambition. This father and son were very ambitious and very arrogant. Anger person, ambitious means always try to do something new, creative, trying to find out some things like that. And they were dangerous ruler. Three things Britishers saw in Hyder Ali, father, and Tipu Sultan in Mysore. Three things they saw: that they were very what? Ambitious, they were very arrogant, and they were dangerous ruler. These Britishers know. So what they did? They tried to put this father and son crushed. They want to put them down, so, and defeat them. So four wars were fought with Mysore. Four fighting were there, held with the Mysore, and only in the last, the battle of Srirangapatnam, did the company ultimately win a victory. Ultimately means at last the Britishers only fought and they only got the victory. Got it? In which? In battle of Srirangapatnam. They got ultimately the victory. Now I am sharing the picture of Tipu Sultan and which battle he held with the Britishers. Then after that we are going to see the wars. Which war? First war, four war was held with the Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan, and the first Mysore war was in the period of 1767 till 69, and he fought between Hyder Ali and the British. Hyder Ali dominant over the British in the first Hyder Ali war. Second, what happened? 1780 to 84, 4 years. It was fought between Hyder Ali and the British. Hyder Ali was defeated by the Britishers. Britishers defeated. Then the third Mysore war was there in 1790 to 92. For 2 years, it was fought between Tipu Sultan and the British. Then it was ended by the Treaty of Srirangapatnam. Tipu Sultan lost territory and prestige. He lost his territory also. All his territory was under the Britishers. He lost the territory also and prestige, the power of the Mysore. Then last fourth Mysore war was in 1799 and Tipu Sultan died in this. The Tipu Sultan, the main person of this war, died and Mysore lost its independence. Now Mysore also came under the Britishers like Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Now this Mysore is also under the control of Britishers. Got it? And next we have the chart of the Anglo-Maratha war, means Britishers with the Marathas. Then we have Anglo-Burma war. Then we have Anglo-Afghan wars. Then we have Anglo-Sikh war. And we know that according to the year in the chart it has been given. Now we are coming with the first fight between war with the Britishers. First Maratha war held in 1776 till 82, and it was fought between the Marathas and the British. And it came to the end by the Treaty of Saibai, and it was a drawn struggle. Got it? Next, second Maratha war, it came in 1801 till 4. That means for 4 years, and it was end with the companies concluded separate territories with Scindia, Bhosles and Holkars. These are the surnames and the rulers they were ruling. Holkars, Bhosles, this. The third Maratha war was held in 1817 to 18, 1 year only. The Marathas were finally defeated. Understood, by the hand of the British, they were finally defeated, and Peshwa's territory was annexed to British India. Whatever territory the Peshwa was having, it was handed over to British. Now next we are going to see what with the Burma War. And the first Burma War was held in 1824 till 26, and it was between the British and the army of Burma. It was ended by Treaty of Yandabo. This treaty was there, the treaty of that. Second Burma War in 1852, the British annexed Rangoon, took the Rangoon and lower Burma, lower part of the Burma, and the place Rangoon was taken by the British. The third Burma War in 1885, the British captured lower Burma was captured, Rangoon was captured. Now the Britishers captured the upper Burma, and Burma lost its independence. Got it? Bengal, Orissa, Bihar. Thereafter that Mysore. Third is with the Marathas. Fourth is with the Burma. Burma is also under control. Then Afghan is there. They did the war, first war with the Afghan in 1839 to 42. And the attack of the British on Afghanistan was failure. Understood? So next battle, second war took place with the British and the Afghan, and it was in 1878 till 80. The British invasion of Afghanistan was a failure. Britishers were not able to capture the Afghanistan. Then we have the Sikh. With the Sikhs also, Sikh is the community people. With them also they have the war. Now in the first war with the Sikh, which was held in 1845 till 46, 1 year war was between the British and the Sikh, and it was ended by the Treaty of Lahore. Lahore was given, and the Sikh lost his territory also and prestige also. Sikh people, they lost the territory and they have to give this place Lahore to whom? To the British. Second Sikh war was held in 1848 till 49, 1 year again. The Sikh state collapsed. Totally the Sikh people of that community people, they collapsed, and first they gave the Lahore, and second now Punjab was also captured by the British. So we saw above the war with the Mysore, the war with the Marathas, the war with the Afghans, the war with the Burma, the war with the Sikh. And then let us see the next point of this lesson is the doctrine of Lapsi. Now the doctrine of Lapsi, we are going to see this. Lord Dalhousie started a policy that came to be known as, the one who started this doctrine policy is known as Lord Dalhousie, and he started the doctrine of Lapsi, and the doctrine declared that if any Indian ruler die without the male heir, if the ruler is dying and his son is not there, then that territory will go under the British Company, East India Company, and it will lapse, cancelled. The territory will cancel because the king is not having the son to make the son as the king. So that territory will go in the hands of the Britishers and it will become a part of company's territory. One kingdom after another was annexed simply by applying this doctrine. Doctrine like Satara. In Satara also they start Sambalpur, Nagpur, Jhansi. All these places there were no heir or the son to rule over his father. So all this territory came to under the power of British East India Company. So the conclusion of the lesson is that European companies, they started trade. They came here. They established the supreme power in India. They defeated all the other powers like the Palasia, Battle of Palasia, Battle of Boxer, Anglo-Mysore War, Anglo-Maratha War, Anglo-Sikh Wars, etc. And the richest province of India, that is Bengal, was under their control. Very important is they were very happy, Britishers, to get the Bengal as their head in their control. The British solved their financial problems by the Diwani right. This name is Diwani right, means they only have the power to collect the land revenue tax, and this is how they are getting the financially strong. Money, everything is under their control, and whatever the land revenue they collected from the Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, later on they started taking this land revenue from the other places also, wherever they have captured. I hope you understood the lesson, and you saw the chart of the wars and the years in which they have shown the result also. What was the result of the war? And with this we come to the end of the lesson number 2, and with this we understood the main reason of the Britishers to form East India Company in India. I hope you understood the lesson, and I hope you will read the lesson at home once. Read the lesson properly, and once you read the lesson you will have the clear picture properly. So later on we will do with the PDF. So thank you children, and have a good day.